recording, and we're just waiting for everything to load. In 1 second here, we are now live on Facebook. Yay, hello, Facebook. Waiting for YouTube to finish doing its wonderful thing, and we'll let that populate on its own. So let me go and say to everybody, yay, welcome. We have an incredible, delightful, and delicious guest today, the incredible Catherine Laub. Now, Catherine, let me get her bio up here, her intro, so I can present her to you in the best possible way. And let's see here. I had it up a second ago. You know I did because I told you I did.
Yep.
Let's go get it. Yep. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've been talking behind the scenes over here, and I'm really excited to bring her on because she's very, very cool. Catherine Laub hosts the Celestial Spoon podcast. She's an award-winning inspirational author, a speaker for stress reduction, a psychic, and a spiritual guide. And yeah, she's told me some things that she's done. It's pretty cool. She helps people feel better with her positive outlook, describing her own battles and winning her battle with deep depression. She's an advocate for mental illness through her campaign, Brighten Your Day with Turquoise, hence the color, because turquoise is a calming color. I didn't know that. She guides others through her spiritual skills to feel invigorated and empowered to go forward in their own struggles. Catherine psychically delivers information to people from the spiritual realm, their guides and angels that benefit them greatly with their lives. I am so excited because I want to jump in and find out exactly. I may even be afraid to find out what the guys are saying about me. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, outrageous Catherine Laub. Woohoo!
Thank you. Hello, Ken. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. And I'm excited because this whole storyline basically that we're presenting to everybody around love is what I want to talk about, because we're all here to make a difference in the world. And I'm noticing one by one, more people are stepping up and saying, oh, I need to make a difference. So I share my own journey of where I've come from and overcome. And a lot of it has to do with my spirituality. And World Love Week is a perfect time to be sharing.
Yeah, it's a special week, and today, of course, is a special day. So I'm thrilled pieces that you're here. So let's talk a little bit about what you've been doing and the message you have for everybody today. We have a bunch of time available until the incredible Pam Heath joins us next. So let's rock and roll.
Okay, so basically, I thought my life had to do with being a wife and a mother, raising children. But once my children were out of the house and it was just myself and my husband, of course, 2 little dogs, we began fighting a lot. And I started noticing that I wasn't happy all the time. Actually, it started when my last daughter was still in the house, and I became suicidal very often. And I never made any attempts until 2003. 2003, I was fighting with my husband in our workplace. We had a little factory, and it had to do with one of the employees where I felt like I was one of the employees in a peon where we were partners, and the man controlled everything. So that began my journey of insecurity because I now felt like I was squashed down. So during a fight at home, I tried taking pills. I got a whole bunch of them down. My husband held me down for a whole hour, and he couldn't believe how strong I was because the driving me to leave this planet was so strong. It was no longer me. I felt like it was the devil really pushing his way, saying, you need to come with me. Well, after an hour of holding me down, I said to him, well, you need to let go of me sooner or later so I could go to the bathroom. And with that, he called 911, and they came and they took me to the hospital. And it was then that I learned that if you get to that point before you act, you need to reach out and say, I'm struggling and I need the help. So either reach out to a friend or a professional or get yourself to the emergency room, and you'll find so much better things to come your way. But hold on, sorry. That wasn't the last of it. It continued. And every time my husband and I had a major fight, it was like, I can't afford to support myself. And at the time, my teenage daughter, the first time, and I felt there was a wall up and nowhere to go. So after then, we went into therapy separately and then marriage counseling, but it really didn't help. And I have to share something really graphic to let people know why I am where I am now. It's where during these marriage counseling sessions, my husband told me that I didn't turn him on because I was too fat. So for at least 15 years, we were not having sex. And that really made me insecure. So of course, every time we had a fight, that's what went through my mind. It's like, well, he's in control of my life. And I'm fighting the tears now because I have those feelings. And he died a year ago. And I feel like I'm haunted by a lot of these feelings. And it's my time to shine. And it sounds sad sharing my story and all the horrors I've been through, but I have to share it so other people know that you're not alone. And there is help for you, no matter what situation you're in, even if it's just stress because of the COVID that we're going through, the pandemic. You're worth something. And it's really time to look at your life and say, oh my God, did my husband treat me that way? Did my wife treat me that way? Or just simple everyday things that are piling up. You may be a mother and the kids are stressing you out. Or you may be an executive in a large company and you feel like there's this wall because you have all these people that you have to be responsible for and you're falling apart. So listening to what I have to say and what I've been through is very important for you to look deeply inside and understand it in yourself. Now, last year was the worst of it all. It started out nicely because Valentine's Day, my husband was already sick with cancer. He was already in hospice in the house. 2 days before Valentine's Day, he gave me an iPad because my relaxation time is on the phone doing jigsaw puzzles. So he said, this is just to do your jigsaw puzzles because I know how much you love doing them and how it helps you. And it does. That's my relaxation and that's my meditation time. Well, 2 days later, I was going to sleep like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and he would be getting up like 6 or 7. So he was laying in bed, and I laid down next to him. I put my arm around him, and he took it off of him and proceeded to get out of bed. And it's like, well, where are you going? I don't understand this. I want to cuddle with you. And I felt like he threw me away. I felt like I wanted to be next to him because he was on his way out and he wasn't letting me. So that day I became suicidal again. I got in my car and I kept on saying, how am I going to crash my car? If I do it, I have to make sure that I die because I don't want to struggle after this. I'm sorry. And I ended up going back home and I thought about just driving into the house. And I made it up until 3 feet before when I slammed on the brakes. Then I went inside and I said to him, I don't understand why you're treating me like this. What did I do? I've been taking care of you. And he just said, you don't understand. And I didn't. So I knew that he had a hand BB gun or whatever type it was, and it wasn't used yet. I went and took it, and I kept trying to figure how can I make this work? I know BBs don't kill, but maybe if I keep pointing it at my heart and just keep shooting. But I couldn't get it to work. So I was already on many antidepressants, anxiety medication, and a lot of medications for a lot of different mental illnesses. I was given an extra one because my doctors knew that he was dying any time. And I took it, not thinking anything of it. And I kept on taking it. That same night, I passed out, and my daughter found me on the floor, half naked, coming out of the bathroom. And I said, I don't know what happened. She got me to bed, and I don't remember the rest of that day. The next night, I passed out again, and I got stuck in the bathroom, and I couldn't get myself up. My stepdaughter was there at the time. She's a nurse, and she was helping care for Tony. And I kept screaming, help me, help me. And then finally, after hours, she opened the door. She couldn't unstick me, so she had to call the fire department. Fire department came, they got me out, and I said to them, I'm very suicidal and I need to go to the hospital. And that's what I tell everybody. You need to reach out. You need to go when you're feeling like that. I'm so sorry, but it feels like it was just yesterday. I was in the hospital for 3 days, which I had been in the same one 3 times before. And I begged them on the 3rd day. I said, I have to go home. My husband's going to die tonight. I know it. I'm being a psychic. I already said 2 years before he died, I said, Tony's going to die next year. I just knew it. Just like I knew the day my mother was going to die and my father was going to die which year. So they communicated with my son, who was the contact person, and he promised that if I went home that he would watch over me and take care of me. So I don't even remember all of those days. And I was told that I was nasty. I kept passing out. I was delusional. I was just totally out of it. The only thing that I do remember is on the 24th of February, I got to kneel down next to Tony. He was in a recliner chair, and he said to me, Kathy, there's something wrong. I said, I know, it's time. But then there was a policeman at the house because I was out of hand, which I don't remember. And the policeman took me away from Tony. That's the last time I saw him. He died the next morning in hospice. One ambulance took him to hospice, and another one took me to the emergency room because I said to my son, I need to find out what's wrong with me. Why is this happening? Why can't I remember? I'm hallucinating. In the morning, a social worker was with me, and I felt a hand on my shoulder. And I turned, it was my daughter and my other 2 kids. I said, is he alive? And they said, no, he's gone. And I couldn't be with him because of what was going on. A few days later, I felt better. And then my son and I were analyzing it, and we realized it was the medication. The anxiety medication combined with everything else caused me to be a crazy woman, is what I was told. But that's not the reason I share my story. I share my story for you. Anyone out there that has anything going on. I mean, just something as simple as grief. It's not really simple, but it's an everyday thing. Sometimes you can't get through it. A lot of these days with the COVID, people are being locked up. Some are going stir crazy and they don't know what to do. And there's so many statistics showing that last year there was so many people reporting depression than the year before, and they were blaming it on COVID. But depression and anxiety are up at the top of the list of ailments that really affect people's lives. And you can overcome, just like I've overcome. I've realized in the last few weeks that my husband caused me to be suicidal. I'm not like that anymore. I'm not depressed anymore. My medications are being decreased because I feel fine. So it could be somebody in your life that you're reacting to. And what happened is, because I'm an empath, and anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's considered in spirituality where you absorb other people's energies. And unfortunately, it's the negative energies that I absorb. So I didn't realize for many years Tony was depressed, but I found information on his computer, little diaries that indicated he was. So the fights, every time we fought, it was his depression coming out stronger and bringing mine up stronger. And I want to read a quote because this represents me 100%. I've fallen, cried, been angry and afraid. But even when I was hurting, I always found a way to keep going. A strong woman never gives up. And that's my story. I just keep on going. And my spirituality is what gets me through everything, because I have the angels by my side. They point me in the direction I need to go. And many years ago, they kept on telling me about turquoise. And that's like, well, what do you mean about turquoise? And then I heard in different words, but brighten your day with turquoise. And as Ken said earlier, turquoise is a calming color and it helps you think clearly and focus better. So I always wear turquoise and have turquoise around me. You could carry notes on turquoise paper, but there's many ways to incorporate it into your life. And that's my campaign, Brighten Your Day with Turquoise, because I want you all to feel better if you're struggling. And I feel nowadays like 7 out of 10 people that I talk to are really struggling and stressed and depressed. So reach out if you need help. The main thing that I help with is the spiritual direction, because my psychic skills, my abilities to connect with the beyond are what helps people get through, because I share information that they never thought that they would hear, or I guide them in a direction that my angels are saying this is good for them. So that is the best way that I've gotten through. Of course, there is the medication end of it. There's the therapist, the doctors, and you need to have a team of people around you that works with you. So that's the main thing. I want to spread love and make the world a better place, one person at a time. And we can do it. I know we can.
No, I completely agree with you. And I want to thank you for sharing. That was pretty amazing. An amazing journey. And it's interesting that you shared that, because so many people don't recognize that being, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but being in a toxic relationship where you're having negative energy rub off on you is not healthy at all, love or not. If that's what you're in, we need to repel negativity. If we can't cope with it, if we can't manage it, sometimes the best thing we can say is, I love you, but I want to love you from a distance, and to recognize that it's not you at all. And I can tell you, I think all of us have a journey in some way that when it gets tough, we say, this shit's got to stop. You know, I don't want to be here anymore. How do we get out of this madness? And I will tell you that I've thought about suicide a number of times over my life. And I remember I was in a yoga class doing downward dog, thinking about how can I kill myself, you know, and it was like, okay, this is stupid, Ken. And I thought it was like, and I just kind of watched from above. I was like, this is really dumb. I'm doing yoga and I'm thinking about how to, you know, but I was in pain and I wasn't loving my life. And how do I stop that? But at the end of the day, for me, it was I have far more to do. But let's face it, life is tough. Or can be tough. Let's say it that way. I don't want to say life is tough because that's the wrong affirmation. But we had Madelein on earlier, and we have some other guests coming on later on this week, where what I discovered with one of my Safari members is that teen suicide is up 8.7 times what it used to be. That's insane. That's just insane. And the basic reasoning is they don't feel they have hope. They don't see a way that there's a way out, that there's a future, which is really sad and really shameful. So what I want us to recognize is that there is the beautiful thing that you give people is a look inside, not just look inside of you, but a look inside of them with what you do on a spiritual basis and on a reading basis. And I want that out in the world. People need to have that. And you know, frankly, I'm like, what's she going to figure out about me? Which we'll talk about after this session is over. But the magic that's there is wonderful, and to celebrate that is wonderful, and to let people recognize that there is. I don't want to say that there's hope, because that sort of seems sort of, you know, yeah, there's hope, but you're not alone. You know, everybody has pain one way or the other. We all have our demons. And I remember years ago, I was doing a personal growth weekend with some people, and they were all saying to me, a couple of them were like, how would you know about us? You got your shit together. And I was like, you have no idea. You have no idea. You know, outside's great, inside's like the blender's been going on. You know, so don't let anybody else convince you that you're the problem or that you're the only one that's messed up, because everybody has a mixed master going on inside of their brain, inside of their heart, inside of their body. We all have that. Even the people with so-called perfect lives, you have no idea. None.
Yes.
You know?
I agree 100%. I've been in a lot of networking groups, and I would be keeping my face, you know, hi, how are you? And everything nice and fun and fancy. But then as soon as I left and on the way home, oh, well, I need to do this, but that's in the way. And, you know, one of my big problems that my husband didn't like was that I'm a hoarder. And so there wasn't a lot of free-flowing energy, but we fought on that very often. And I moved recently, so all of my stuff is in the garage in the basement, so I have clear energy. But I would just put on a front, and once I walk back in the front door, it's like, here it goes again.
Yep.
And I would start crying or whatever. And, you know, it's exactly like you said. Everybody at some time in their life has these thoughts. And I just want to share really fast the second time, because it was November of 2019. I was sitting across the room from Tony as we were fighting with a pair of scissors, and I just kept going over my wrist. And it just kept going over my wrist. Every time I got to that main vein, I lifted my hand and I went around it. Kept going around and around, didn't have the nerve to get into that vein. In the meantime, Tony called the police, and when they arrived, he said, she's drawing on her arm with scissors. He did not know I was trying to cut my wrist.
God.
So I want the other people that are looking into your life to pay attention also, because it could be as simple as that. You know, you think they're drawing on their arm, but they're actually trying to cut their wrist open right in front of you. You need to find what's happening with them so you could be supportive of them and help them get through whatever's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And the bottom line really is support, letting people know they're not alone. There's all sorts of sadness out there, but the other side of it is there's all sorts of opportunity. Let's take a look at Pandemic Land, for example. What we've been doing when we haven't been live, like just before you came on, we've been replaying recordings of Opportunitython, which we ran last year. And the whole idea about Opportunitython was to say, okay, we have a pandemic, people are dying, the world's going to hell. Got it. And can you control that? No, you can only control you and your own experience. So how about if we spin it and we pivot our attitude and say, what can I do in my world to take command and control of my life so that way I'm in charge? I'm not a victim anymore. I'm the captain of my ship. I'm not in the engine room. I'm the guy given the directions, or the lady given the directions. Okay. And so we ran this 28.5-hour event with that whole attitude. People need to be in that state where they recognize they are in control. And if you feel you're getting out of control, yes, obviously get help. I'm one of the lucky ones. I got help many, many years ago. And I still have people I talk to when the pressure's on and so on. And I do the work, and we have to do the work. I mean, think about this. Do you like your teeth? Do you like keeping your teeth? Let's put it that way, right? Well, guess what? Then you probably brush them every day without even thinking about it. You don't brush your teeth, you don't shower, things don't go so good, So taking care of your mental state, taking care of your spiritual state, taking care of that is equally as important as doing a daily run and getting some cardio, or eating healthy, or simply brushing your teeth, for that matter. And I know you said you put everything in the garage. I would tell you to blow up the garage. No, for real. I would tell you to blow up the garage. I mean, my mom has, I wouldn't necessarily say she's a hoarder, but she doesn't like throwing things away.
Yes.
We found in the cupboard, like, groceries that are 10 years old because they were on sale. It's like, Mom, I mean, she had me eating cookies that really were 10 years old. So see if they're any good, Ken. So I made a video. My mom tried to kill me because the chemicals in those cookies were like disastrous, And so I was like, Mom, please don't die for a while, because I really don't want to have to clean out your apartment.
My kids said the same thing.
Right. So just don't do that to us. So, but here's the thing. I took a feng shui class a number of years ago. And the big thing is throw your shit away, because the more space you have, the more room you have for great energy. So, and I'll tell you, I've moved a bunch of different places over the past years, and I've got things that are missing now from the last move. God knows where the hell they are, including my favorite recipe book. But who cares? At the end of the day, none of that shit really matters. So I'm going to I'll challenge you to do the dump the garage challenge, and just throw that. Don't even look. Just blow it up. Like the basic question: when was the last time you ever saw it? 1971. No. Yeah, doesn't need to be there anymore. Yes, I have the comfort of knowing. Yeah, and get rid of it.
My problem is I can't throw it away, so I donate it.
Fine, that's fine. Donate it. That's even better. That's even better.
I'm working on it.
Okay. And I wouldn't say problem. I would say challenge or opportunity. Now, this
challenge.
Point,
thank you.
Donate. That's what I did with a lot of my.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would dump it, and you will find just all this energy opening up. Here I am teaching you that. Anyway, we're about to head over to our next speaker. I am thrilled that you're with us. I know you've got a couple of gifts for us, so we're going to pop those into the on the dashboard. So worldloveweek.com/dashboard, and there'll be a link to all the gifts from all of our speakers, including the amazing Catherine. I got to tell you, I'm humbled by your ability to share and the way you open yourself up to us. You amaze me. You're amazing.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
Here we go. We are now recording officially as well. life is good. Hey, everybody, Ken Krell here. Thrilled to have you with us. It is the middle of the night here in Sydney, Australia. I mean, exactly the middle of the night at 12 midnight, but it is earlier in the day in the other side of the world, in the great city, the city of light, isn't it? The city of Paris. I'm so thrilled to have Helena with us. And Helena Hansen is originally from Sweden, but now a French resident. She has been editing and reading and become a literary coach for, gosh, over the past 15 years, 16 years now, from what I count on the information that I have here in my hand. And today she's going to share with you about how all that can go together and how you can put love into your writing and love into your communications. And I couldn't be more excited to have with us today, tonight, this morning, good evening, whatever time you are, Helena Hansen.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. It's 2:00 in the afternoon here.
Lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me. And I'm so happy I'm thrilled to be here, and I hope you will understand my English, because normally I speak French all the days and Swedish, of course.
Well, your English is great, and for me, it's a thrill to be having someone in France, because French is my second, next to English, is my second favorite language. So I'm absolutely thrilled. That's why I keep coming back to you, like, oui, merci, you know. So we have to do this in English, but I hear you great. You're awesome. So I'll let you go right ahead.
Yeah. So I'm here today to talk about my love for literature and how it can make you become an excellent writer. And you can say that I brought my love for literature into my own business. And as you said, I'm a writer's coach, I'm a publisher's reader, I'm an editor. Sometimes I work as a ghost writer, and then it's a little bit more like a secret. It's not my name on the cover of the book, but it's me who has written it. And but I feel every day when I go to my office, or well, my home office, I have an office at home, and I feel this great love for what I'm doing. And I think if you love what you do, and if you're doing what you love, you get more successful and you get more love into your life. And I hope I bring a lot of love to my customers, the writers I'm working with, because I'm working with not only established writers, I'm working with aspiring writers. And I have some advice for you how to become an excellent writer. And my first advice is to just do it, because everybody can write. Even if you have doubts, I think you can do it, and you can learn how to write. And the more you write, the better you get. And that is the clue, to do it. They say that in Sweden, every third person wants to write a book. And I think, I don't know how the figures are in other countries, but I think it might be the same. Lots of people, they want to write a book. And I say, it's possible. Maybe you want to write a collection of short stories. That's a good beginning. Or maybe you want to write your novel, or why not a non-fiction book? Because that can be your personal business card. If you write about a topic that you're specialized in, that is great. You bring more love into your business, you get to love what you do, and the customers will love to read your book. So that's my advice, to write. And you can learn how to write in many ways. You can go to, for example, you can take classes in creative writing. Sometimes I organize actually workshops in Paris in creative writing. And as you said in the beginning, I don't know if the other heard that, but I live in Paris, the city of love, or the city of lights, but I usually call it the city of love, because especially if you love literature, it's an amazing city. You can go to all those cafes where, for example, Hemingway, Scott Fitzgerald, the Beat Generation, where they sat and created their work, and you feel the ambience of love, the love of literature, and that's just amazing. And so I brought this love into my business, and I also taken a Master of Arts in Creative Writing from Lund University. It's in the south of Sweden. But the most difficult thing I've done is to learn French, because when I moved to France, I couldn't speak much French. Of course, I've studied French in college, but you know, when you come to France, it's not the same way people do speak. And so I took a lot of classes and courses in the French language, and then I could enter the master program in literature. And it was, well, it was a challenge, but I made it, and I made it with good grades. And I think that's thanks to my love of literature. And doing what you love, it makes you can be more, you put more love in what you do, and it becomes so much more easier to do what you love. And so don't give up. It's the same thing with writing. Don't give up. Some people, they say it's 10% inspiration and 90% transpiration. And I think that might be right, because some days maybe you sit in front of your computer and you feel you don't get nothing written, but at the same time you think about your texts, and you work it, you develop your text inside your head. And some days maybe you write a lot of pages. So my advice is to just do it. Sit in front of the computer and write. And my second advice is to read a lot. Because when you're reading books, you can read books in, of course, many, many ways. But I would say there are two main ways of reading a book. It's reading it like a reader. You get fascinated by the story, the characters, and so on. But you can also read it like an author. And you can study how the other writer has done when creating the book. For example, you can take a look at story structure. It's a very, very important component. Maybe one doesn't think about that when writing. And you can take a look about how the characters are developed, how they are created, because a character, there needs to be a development. A character should not be the same in the beginning of the story as in the end. And you can also take a look at the setting, the detail, the style, and that can make you find your own literary voice. And I think it's amazing reading books. So the next time when you read a book, I recommend you to read it like a writer, and read your favorite book again and see how the writer has done. And maybe you say, oh, it's so hard to write a book, it takes so long time, but you can write a book in many ways. And for example, like Stephen King, he says at least that he's an organical kind of writer. That means he doesn't plan anything. He's just writing his stories. But he's also he has a lot of experience too, so that comes into the picture. But you have, for example, Larry Brooks, who has written the excellent book Story Engineering. And there you can learn from handbooks in writing, and he is focusing on structure, on characters, and everything you need. So you have to feel for yourself which is the best way for you to write, because there are so many ways, but don't forget to read. And my third advice is to letting other people read what you've written, because it can be lonely. It can be lonely sitting at your home office or at a cafe writing, and you feel this, you're a bit alone. And I think you will feel the text gets also more alive. It's become a real story when you let somebody else reading it. So that's my third advice. And it's very good to let's say, friends and family read your text, but you can also contact a writer's coach. And maybe you wonder, what is a writer's coach doing? And me, when I'm working with customers or clients or writers or people who want to become writers, we set up deadlines, they send in text. I look at a lot of components like story, structure, characters, setting, details, language, and not at least the thing to show, not tell. That is very important, because you have to work with pictures, or you don't have to, but the book gets more interesting, if you ask me, if the reader can see pictures in front of him or her when he or she is reading the book. And that's something that is very, very important. And I'm reading text mostly in Swedish, but also in English and in French, of course. And that is my advice, to let your text out of of your computer and sending it to a professional writer's coach. And I don't know if I should talk about my gift to you who are listening, because I'm offering you, because I'm so happy to be here. I'm thrilled to be here talking, and I think it's great, and I want to encourage everybody to write their story, because I think everybody has a story inside of them that needs to get out, to be read. And so you can contact me and you will get 1.5 hours of free online writing coaching. And I will also get feedback, give you feedback on 1,000 words. And there's a link. We will put it on the side, on the page after, so you can subscribe to my newsletter. But you can also contact me through the contact form on my web page, and I will be happy to help you, because I feel this passion, and I hope you feel passion for literature and writing too, because that is all my life is circling around literature and writing, and that is my passion. I think it's as passionate to help other people to write and develop their text, to refine their text, as when I'm writing myself. And So I think I've chosen a great job, and I fulfilled my dream. And I think maybe of you who are listening, you have this dream of writing a book, and I say it's possible.
I'd say it's possible too with someone like you, Helena, as a coach. That's fantastic. And I'm grateful for your being here. I do want to jump in for the moment and clarify something for everyone watching, because Helena is speaking with massive heart, but I don't think she recognized exactly what she just gave away. And so I'm going to put a limiter on it to protect her, because she is no way in the world that she can manage the bandwidth of all these people coming in for a 90-minute session with her complimentary. That is above and beyond and crazy. So crazy love. She's in Paris. She's overwhelmed by love today. So I'm going to say that it will be limited to the first few people that actually come on board to enroll with her in that incredible offer. And so when you see on her website that it's, oops, sorry, but maybe she has something else for you instead that she can scale, that'll be where we are. So it's a first mover kind of thing, but I've got to protect you because I've seen this happen before. And the last thing I want you to do is go, oh no, I really didn't mean to do that. So yeah, anything that when we do talk about giving away a gift, the last thing I want anyone to do is create a challenge for themselves where there's no limitation. And so yeah, I just wanted to jump in. I was like, oh no, she didn't do that. Because I'm like, I'm signing up right now. I want that sucker right now.
Yeah, you can do that.
Right. So before we go ahead and change that on the page, whoever's watching us right now, get in there right now and do it, because otherwise it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't mean, for me, it doesn't mean you have to book your time just now. We can planify it for maybe people can send in text in some month, because to be honest, I'm a kind of popular publisher's reader and a writer's coach. So I have a lot of job and I have a lot of text to read. So I'm very thankful.
That's my point. We can't have
that you are helping me to.
So what I'll recommend is this. And because we're producing it, we can jump in and we can kind of help make those rules. So I'm going to encourage Helena to, when we finish the interview today and we finish her session, she'll scale it to the point where, and this is a lesson for everybody. I teach this in our Pride program, which stands for Produce Ridiculously Irresistible Digital Events. It's to make sure that what you do offer, you don't get yourself in trouble for. So
no.
I say in trouble is like, oh much, I promised too much, because we want to give. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's really sharing your love.
Yeah.
But if we overshare it, then we create a nightmare for ourselves. And by the way, this event is a perfect example, because what was right, Zor? It's a totally perfect example of oversharing and overhelping. I did not really intend to do a 24/7, oh my gosh, 300 speaker kind of an event. And so it came from here, from wanting to help Zor help his folks in his family and his village in South Sudan. So I'll recommend that what you do is you have a redeem by date, and you see that with any kind of contest or free gift anyway from other people. So that's totally okay. So let them redeem by a certain date, then you'll deliver it within a certain time frame. So there's an expectation, and limit it to say the first 10, 20, 30, 400, whatever you want to use, because you never know, especially when our VIPs get lifetime access to this recording, they can look at it next year and go, oh, I want that, right? So we have to make sure we protect you, because you're editing from the heart and you're always busy. So I don't think you're recognizing that, this could be, oh my goodness, what you've given, what you've offered.
I'm aware of that.
Right? What you've offered is so incredibly generous that I just want to make sure that you don't like, what did I do? So as you guys watch, understand something. This is a limited offer and a first come, first serve. So I can protect this natural beauty here of a human that is hoping change the world by editing and crafting literature for her clients that can truly make a gigantic difference and shift people's experience from where they are right now to where they can be, all because of the way words and stories appear in print. And that is an incredible gift that you have.
Thank you. Because I want to spread the love my love for literature, and I want to, how do you say, encourage people to write.
Sure. So let me ask you a question. If I was going to be an aspiring writer, and I guess to some degree I am, I've already got a couple books that are out already and I've self-published. But if I wanted to do the kind of stuff that you're doing, not coaching people, but I wanted to be like when you're clients, first of all, what type of writing do you work with? Are you fiction, nonfiction? Does it make a difference?
No, I'm working with both.
Interesting.
And yeah, but there are some other kind of things you look at or analyze if you're working with a non-fiction book. You're working, it's a lot about structure, it's the title, it's the language. You should be kind of teaching something that is easy for the audience, for the reader to understand, to not to some people they want to complicate the language because, but I think you should make it simple.
Yes. Oh,
And
yes.
that can be the hard part. To some people, to readers, they will understand and they will get more out of the book. And yeah, so there are some other things I analyze when it comes to nonfiction books because it's two different types of writing. Maybe it's not so much show, not tell, because you're not writing a story, but at the same time, it's a kind of storytelling. So, but there are two different kind of approaches, you can say.
You know, as a nonfiction writer, and that's kind of my domain, I absolutely agree with you that the power of story is still critical because people remember the story. So if
Yeah,
we're going to talk about whatever the topic may be, you know, training a dog, then telling the
yeah,
story about how Billy trained, you know, Biffy the dog or whatever, and you know,
yeah,
first he did this and first he did that, and then you know, and then I taught him this one little thing. Oh my god, you know, that people remember, right? So it's
right.
really important to do that. And then, as you said, very important distinction for every one of us is to remember, number one, who your audience is. If it's a scientific journal,
Exactly.
right? If it's a scientific journal, you can talk in that very high language. But if you're talking to common people like us, then talk in natural language. Don't try to impress us with big words because that you lose the audience there. And
Yeah,
you know, it's funny, you know, as a writer, I'm a writer, but I'm more of a copywriter. And when you write copy to convert, to get people to take action, you've got to write it at like the fourth, fifth, sixth grade level so people
yeah,
can read it. Using big words that say you're a genius doesn't get you the audience. So,
no. And
right?
that is, I would say it's very important too in non-fiction or in fictional, sorry, in fictional books to know who your audience is. Because if you're writing a fantasy book, it's not the same people who wants to read a thriller or a romance story. You need to limit your audience because that's a common mistake. You think, oh, I'm writing for everybody. But it's so hard to englobe all people in an audience. You have to know who your audience, who you want to write to or write for, and adapt your language, of course, after your audience. Even in fictional books.
You know, it's funny, so funny that you're mentioning that because as a marketing guy, we talk about the right fit audience and knowing who your customer avatar is and eliminating those, you know, it's like Michelangelo and that slab of marble. You know, how did he find David? He took out what wasn't, right? And you're talking about writing to the correct audience or choosing your audience and writing to them. It's interesting. I don't think people connect that writing is the same thing. It's knowing, you know, Stephen King, knowing who his reader is, you know,
Yeah,
to be able to write towards that person, whoever that market is. I don't even know who that market is for Stephen King, how you would describe their reader. But that's amazing. And I don't know that people recognize that it goes so far into everything that we do is getting real specific to knowing your customer, knowing your client, and serving.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I mean, imagine, well, it's really interesting knowing your client. So you go to a concert, right? And when the artist wants to play new music, we in the audience don't want new music. We still want Goodbye Yellow Brick Road at an Elton John concert. We don't want the new stuff. The hell with that. We still want, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Elton John's probably so tired. He wants to have that road be torn up, you know, but Yellow Brick Road has made him a lot of money, you know? So as a writer, same kind of idea. So what kind of books excite you the most?
What kind of books? I will say I'm not specialized in any type of genre, or how you pronounce it in English.
Genre is correct.
Genre.
Oh, I like it with the genre. Très bien, it's fantastic.
Ouais, c'est très bien, c'est comme ça.
Merci. So no, I see. I get excited about that. That's just I'm one of those Franco,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
I love working with all kind of books because I think it's the same kind of craftsmanship. Because I think what's important to think about too is that you can learn how to write, because some people think it's only inspirational, it's only genius who can write a book, but this is something you can learn how to do. And of course, if you read a feel-good book, there's certain expectations from the reader. There should, for example, always be a happy ending. If you are writing a criminal story, you want to know who the killer is, or yeah, because if you are not writing like a, I don't know, trilogy or something, but there is something that's important in every type of book.
Elena,
And
sorry.
Go ahead, Zor.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask. I love your presentation. It's awesome. I was gonna ask, when you're writing a book or when you're writing whatever, are you a type of writer that normally start with outline and follow the outline, or are you the person that just go with the creativity of the story?
And as you answer that, understand we have less than 30 seconds left. So before we have to go to our next guest. So
yeah, I will make a quick answer. I'm planifying because mostly I'm writing for other people, so it's what they want to write that I'm focalizing on. So they need to know what I should write as a ghostwriter, for example. But you can do both. It's when you're writing a book yourself, you do what feels the best for you, because there is no right or wrong in writing a book, I think, or the way you write a book, but there are components you need to think about.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So unfortunately we've got to end our stream right over here. We have another stream coming up in just another second here, actually right now. So yeah. Helena Hansen, thank you so much for being with us today. I love you. You're awesome.
Yeah, lots of love you from Paris and to you all. And thank you for letting me speaking here today.
It's been an honor to have you. It's been an honor to have you. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
force of nature. And every time that we connect, I just leave just as if I've had rocket fuel. And I'll tell you, it's because the amazing Rich Kozak is rocket fuel for individuals to ensure their brand impacts people's lives and the world. He's the sage voice, listen to this, for impact-driven branding. With 44 years of experience, he's beat me by 5 in every aspect of branding. Rich is a rare individual who guides people in branding that brings them joy. His mid-career radical sabbatical, that's interesting, shaped his life, focused him specifically on what impact-driven brands are doing. And now he's soon to be a 5-time published author. His story is about love, clarity, and alignment on purpose. Rich says that it's about defining your life, not just your business. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder and CEO of Rich Brands and Impact-Driven Publishing, the incredible, chocolatey good, Rich Kozak. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I am so blessed. Happy Valentine's Day. Good morning. Happy Sunday and a lot of love.
It's so good to see you. I always love seeing you.
What an irony that a branding guy would talk about love. Like, what? Okay, we're going to get over that quickly. May I tell you a story?
Please tell us a story, Daddy.
Well, once upon a time, Kenny, I ran a high-tech ad agency with partners in 21 countries. I was addicted to my job, but I didn't know that yet. I would come home late at night and wake my 2 boys up, and we'd say a quick prayer, and it would sound like this: Lord, thank you for teaching us that there are only 2 things that you want us to do. We're here for 2 reasons: to share love and to praise God, and everything else is man-made. Okay, honey, now go back to bed. Now, the irony that I was addicted to my job and never around, but I could do that prayer. It's like, what? Okay, but fine. I'm over that now. That was a long time ago. But I quit branding when I turned 50, realized I was addicted to it. I quit. I don't do branding anymore. And I was brought back by people asking me for their help, but they were individuals. And I created a process based on the process we used to use with giant companies, $14 billion companies that wanted to move their brand from Germany to the United States, but the legalities were different. And so we helped them. You know, I was addicted. It was a buzz, an absolute buzz. But these days I work with individuals, and here's what landed on me. And I realized that the ability to do and see what we do is a gift. It's not a skill. I used to think it was a skill. There were heavy beat marks on my chest from doing, okay, you know, it's like it was about me, but it's not. When you have the gift to see what people can become, when you listen to what they talk about in their life, and you say, can I show you how that maps out? And they go, what? And by the time you're done, you have a picture you've held up a mirror to their heart and said, this is what I see in there. How close are we? And they go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You actually get to help people not only build a strong platform for their business, but to step from that platform into their purpose. And that's what I do these days. So it is about love. You know, we learn. Anyway, so that was my story, my little story with the prayer. And I am a love guy. We just buried my mom, 100 years old in 5 months. And the legacy that we shared when we spoke at her recorded funeral 3,000 miles away, which I couldn't go to because I would have been in quarantine. It's like, it's crazy. But is that when I went through her house and found her Bible, which is red, by the way, so happy Valentine's Day. A lot of love in here. See, I could wear a red pocket handkerchief and do the same thing. Very worldly, very substantial. I'm just saying. I find prayer lists and I find underlines of asking God to bring clarity into her mind of what his will is in her life, and prayer lists of please help. She is from the South, from Southern United States. So she talks with a little accent. Please help my son, Richard, find a good woman and not spend too much time playing in those rock bands in those bars. That was like, you know, several decades ago. But And so we realized, we speak about the legacy that we leave, and sometimes legacy is a legacy of faith. It's a legacy of lessons learned. It's a legacy of mistakes made. It's a legacy of assets built. It's a legacy. There are layers of legacy, and one of my clients talks about that constantly. When it's time in someone's life to take it to a higher level, when they're ready, and it sounds like this, boy, I've done this for 20 years and I really want to take this to a higher level. Man, I've had this business for 35 years, but we've been really successful, but I want to leave a legacy in the world. I want to share this with other people. I want to teach others so they can teach others. I want to train the trainers. I want to write and I want to speak, and people are ready to take it to another level. They think branding is the answer, but they're intimidated, frustrated, confused, misinformed by what branding really is. And I am going to reframe your idea of what it can be. The name of my presentation that I shared with you, or the theme of it, is When Work Becomes Love, Reshaping Your Life. When work becomes love. So what the heck does branding have to do with love? And what the heck does branding have to do with God's purpose that he puts in each one of us when he makes us? Because we're all here for a reason, unless there's nothing to this life. And you can be one of those people, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time with you. But it's like, we're here for a reason. And we either get to step into that gift, step into that purpose, or not. And when you have somebody who says, look, I had this job for 30 years and I'm over it. I'm going to do what I love, but I want to do it right. They think they need a brand, or they want to take it to another level because they've done it for so many years and they want to do it right. And they know branding is an answer, but they don't understand it. Or they've just created something like an expertise or a method or a product, and they know it'll touch people's lives and make the world a better place, but they're not a branding person. And they know all of those people are ready to take it to another level. Here's what can happen. This is what impact-driven branding is. You envision the brand, whatever you are, speaker, trainer, scientist, coach, whatever your business is, be it a manufacturer, it doesn't matter. I have clients of all types. You imagine that thriving. You think about it. What does it look like? What are you doing? Are you serving 200 clients in your backyard for the rest of your life? Or are you speaking through 200 languages all around the world? What are you doing when you thrive? Think about that. What's in your mind is in your life. So think about thriving. Now, answer the question. In your mind's eye, who are those people that you are absolutely clear? You can see it. You can clearly see them in your mind's eye that you know you can touch their lives. And you write those down. And don't tell me women feel better, or men get over the fact that they're not their job. Okay, I want to hear a woman 40 to 50 years old with a special needs child with autism finds a way to make herself abundant and leave a legacy for the child when she's gone. That's a who and a what. That's an impact statement. Give me a who and a what. I don't need 20 of them, and don't make a list. Let them come from your heart. So you write them down. I have a client who added a light wire to safety vests. He's going to change safety all over the world. That's the impacts we wrote for him are absolutely compelling. The way he changes individuals' lives and the world. So you write them down, who and what. Maybe you have 3, maybe you have 7, you have 12, it doesn't matter. The moment you write those down and build clarity and specificity into those impact statements, here it is, wait for it. That brand can be defined to be the brand you must become to make those impacts. What characteristics must you become and get credit for? What expertises must you become and get credit for in priority order in order to make the impacts? Everything is impact driven. And when you do it that way, and when you do that work, everything the brand says and does aligns to the impacts. And you get to the impacts faster, and you get to this faster. And you might even discover the purpose of business is not this anymore. It's impact. What if everyone realized, everyone who is ready, because not everyone is ready. Not everyone is ready for impact-driven branding. They haven't gone through their life. They are not at the point in their journey. But when they're ready, what if everyone realized and shifted the purpose of business to impact instead of this? And you'd get there faster anyway. What a world would it be? And so the aha moment for me was realizing this is God's work. God put those desire for impacts in our hearts. Our mind's eye says, oh, I know I can help these people. Okay, so we get on with it. Now you might write down 7 impacts and you will absolutely reach those. You are going to reach a whole bunch more. Just because you only write down 3 or 12 doesn't mean you're not going to make any other ones, but you are certainly going to race to those. And everything the brand says and does aligns and sends you there. What a God blessing. No confusion, no misinterpretation, no waiting, no wasting money on marketing, because everything's aligned. People jump into marketing and don't define who they are and really language their brand. And when that's done absolutely thoroughly, it is clarifying first and then aligning. So achieving clarity and envisioning the impacts you make on the world is such a gift. And the process that I'm doing every day with people, it's based on branding knowledge and branding expertise and branding process, but it's not about, see, your work is not why you're here. It's just a vehicle. But branding will help build a wonderful platform for that work and make it abundant so that you can step from that platform into your purpose. So when a client says, well, I'm not writing any books, and we define 3 books for them, and then they write their first book, or we have it written with them for them, and they start to get credit for their expertise and then move into and cross the bridge into where they're going and then get into their purpose, their life becomes more significant. Branding? It's like people don't think of branding as that, but that's what we do all day long. What a blessing. So imagine thriving. Focus on those individuals or groups that you clearly see impacting, and then create compelling, consistent language that transfers energy, so the words you speak transfer energy, shape your impacts, and attract exactly what you want to attract to make your impacts. It's a guarantee because it's the way it's defined. It's going to work because everything is impact driven. What a cool thing, huh? So, and it's all about love. It's all about love. That's the foundation of it. And it's also who's doing it. It's like one of the things I stand for. People call me a heart connector. It's a branding guy. It's okay, but hey. I mean, I used to, on my desired brand triangle, I used to have the word connecting as a characteristic. And so many people said, you're connected with my heart. I changed it to say heart connecting, because that's what people tell me it is, and it's part of the process. Phenomenal. And Ken, I think that's why you and I, we listen to each other talk about, man, there's something about him I really like.
It's true.
We have this kind of mutual admiration society.
The dynamics that we have are, it's fun that way. And we're almost at the point where we could like finish each other's sentences, although we don't even know each other that well, but it really is, it's awesome. But isn't it energy? We do just attract each other's energy, and that's wonderful. It really is, it's special. It really is special. So I appreciate you and what you do. And I'm going to shut up and let you keep going because you're on a roll.
Well, words are energy. I mean, let's not kid around. If you said to me, Rich, what do you, oh, you're a branding consultant. Oh, dear, gee, another one, like wah, wah. Because everybody uses the word, right? Everybody uses the word branding. So it gets a bad rap because there's a lot of really bad branding out there. But so they say, okay, well, wow, what do you do? And if I say, well, I mean, words have energy. So if I say, well, I manage the 31 iterative steps of the branding continuum. First of all, you'll be asleep. But if I say, when it comes down to it, I put rocket fuel in your branding gas tank. Just the words alone have a different energy. And so what if the words that you use to describe the brand to get credit were all congruent with your heart? Yeah. Okay. And seriously, I mean, people don't think about that. Well, we need a brand. They think a logo, oh yeah. Well, I could talk for a week about logos. You want the 5-acid test? Says what it does. Easy to say, easy to spell, easy to remember, has legs. I could talk for a week. You ready? Let's go. I mean, I've been there. You want to talk about trademark? Want to talk about, trade dress? I know things that people couldn't even forget because they don't know, because I've been doing this for so long. But that's not the point. The point is, you think branding is about business and money. What if it's about impact and building a platform with your vehicle that you've been given as a gift so that you can step into your purpose and be even more abundant and create layers of legacy that you can pass on to the world and to your family and to others? It's like, branding? Yeah. Welcome to my world. What a blessing. And so, how do people get a feeling for that? Ken, do you mind if I mention the free website with the little 1, 2, 3 minute branding question videos?
Love it. And okay, by the way,
so
and let me also
yeah.
mention that those links are also going to be in the resource area on their dashboard. So if you go to worldloveweek.com/dashboard, we have it there as well. Or if it's not there the second, it will be. So we have it there for you also.
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of a surprise. What's on that list is
surprises.
It's a kind of a Valentine's Day bonus. Little ready.
Could you do that again? Yeah, do that again. That was nice. Yeah. Okay.
So sorry, old school, thebrandyoubillbecome.com. thebrandyoubillbecome.com.
I love that.
I mean, the whole brand. Okay, but not just the business brand, the whole brand, like why you're here. Got it? Okay. thebrandyoubillbecome.com. That gives you access to, I think there are 8 little 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, total 18 minutes videos answering really common branding questions with straight talk. Yes, it is I. My mother was an English teacher. It's a predicate nominative. It is I answering them with no airy fairy language like Ken was talking about. There's no essence talk. Okay, there's just straight answers about branding questions. Including the last one that says, why does Rich Brands only want to work with people determined to make an impact on others' lives in the world? So that's free. Go get them. And to get them, I'll get your email. And then anyone who just signs up for those and gets that, I'll get an email. I am going to send you a second gift. And it is a free ticket to a half-day event that I'm doing on the 27th of February called Branding You with Impact. And it is a charged event, but I will gift it to you. It's middle of the day if you're on the West Coast, Pacific time, it's 11 to 2:33, something like that. East Coast, it would be 8 to 12. Of the United States, sorry, because I know we've got people all over the world. So for the first time in your life, you come to that, you will hear and see and feel branding as a process that makes you more significant and enables you to step from your well-branded business platform into your purpose with ease. You'll see what it is, how it works, when you'll see how work becomes love and when branding becomes God's work. And I would love to gift that to you. So www.thebrandyoubillbecome, sign up. When I get your email, I will send you the gift of the free ticket for that event.
That's awesome. And for those of you that watch this on a recording in a year or 6 months or whatever, sorry.
Well, I'll come up with something else.
Timing is of the essence.
But you'll start with the videos, and you'll watch those, and you'll either go, you know, I love this guy's straight talk, or you'll go, I want some essence. Where's the essence? And you're not my guy. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe you're not ready.
The whole piece.
If you're on this event, you're probably ready. So it's like, let's not get around.
That's true. Here's the thing. I like to be pragmatic about what we do, and I teach that way when I do my Pride event, for example, which I know you've been at.
Great event.
I thank you. It's great because of the people that show up, and the brand that comes with it is also the brand of transparency. So my whole perspective, and why I'm so happy to have you here, is that when we talk about branding, we talk about making an impact, and we talk about just doing business per se, when you come from truth and you come from your real purpose for hopefully serving your community, and I'm just not talking about your customers, which should be fundamental. It's serving your collaborators, serving your joint venture partners, serving your suppliers, serving even the Uber driver, the people that you're in contact with. If you don't,
just a choice.
Yeah, is recognizing that you can't do what you do without everybody in that entire food chain, that entire supply chain, if you will. And that's critical. I mean, if you don't win the scenario, and yeah, you want to negotiate your best terms and your best deal and everything, but when you do it with integrity, and if you goof, we've had a lot of with this event, for example, we've had all sorts of fun technical challenges, opportunities to learn where things haven't worked, and we've had to pivot in a lot of ways over this past few days. But when you do it with the accountability that goes with it, people love that. Because
so I did want to make sure, I know we have a very little time, so I want to say where I'm going with this instead of starting a story. Here's where I'm going. It's going to end with saying the world seems to work against us until clarity comes.
Great.
And then things begin aligning because we make them align. So that's where I'm going. And I worked with Lisa Nichols with Motivating the Teen Spirit. Lisa's from the movie The Secret, and I worked with her for 3.5 years. What a God blessing she is to the universe. And she used to do, she taught emotional healthiness skills to teenagers, and talk about things like negative self-talk and the way, you were born perfect, but then things happen and you start, hearing things, oh, you're not that good. Oh, let your sister do it. Oh, you suck at this. You'll never amount to whatever. Right. And you start loading stuff, and then you start believing it. And then so you go get a good job. So you're going to prove that you're going to get this job. And then you get addicted to your job. Guilty. And then you realize your job's not why you're here. And the moment you choose, you know what, I'm going to reshape my life. Like, I resigned a career to reshape my life. That's pretty rare, and I was able to do it, so thank goodness. But most people can't. But when that clarity comes and you have something to give, and now everything is based on what I see when I thrive at that, and everything lines up, and the language aligns, because what comes out of our mouth creates the world. And so when the language aligns, and language is extremely important, the language of a brand that's consistent, and then it transfers energy. When all that aligns, the world aligns. And so really it feels like the world's working against us until clarity comes. What a blessing that all of us get to help others step into clarity.
Yeah, that's
and,
true.
With all the one woman who was on here before, with their heart and with their energy, with what their brand is, but they think it's just a business, and it's going to go beyond that. It's like it's going to be hard to get rid of me. Just be more, forewarned. But literally, I had a woman write me yesterday, a client. She goes, "You're stuck with me." I'm like, praise God. I'm like, all right, go.
I was gonna jump in and ask, you've been talking about question of clarity and the impact-driven statement. It's quite interesting, actually. But I feel like I've seen you at the Pride event, and I've been there as well. And what I've noticed, including myself, is the fact that when we are trying to message our branding, that messaging part, sometimes we are lost in the clarity and And so my question was around, how do you help your, client and to navigate to, to get that clarity toward their messaging and around their whole brand?
It's an excellent question, and I'll give you a simple answer, but I could talk for a year, but I'll give you a simple answer. There are 7 steps to impact-driven branding. And I don't have I'm preparing a landing page to offer an impact-driven branding blueprint on some advertising that we're doing, which says, here are the 7 steps, get started. So there's steps, there's just steps. One is imagine your brand thriving, writing down the who's and what's of the impacts, and then asking yourself, well, in order to make that impact, what must the brand become? Must it be technology centric? Must it be loving? Must it be, aggressive? Must it be strategic? It's like you ask yourself, and the process extracts what's necessary to make those impacts. It just lines up because of the process. And so it's not difficult. It's rigorous. It's not difficult. And so how I help is I facilitate the process, listen deeply with, I'm a certified trainer of neurolinguistics programming. So I listen with those ears. If they say this is a problem, I usually say, I think to myself, well, that's the presenting problem. Let's get to the real problem. But so I facilitate it. I even do it in groups and then we'll break out and people will help each other speed through the process. It becomes something that you can do. So I'm writing a book, which I can't hold up. It's called Impact Driven Branding, 7 Steps to Ensure Your Brand Impacts People's Lives and the World. It's steps. And there's a workbook. It's like, so the event that I'm going to give people to is kind of the what and why. The how event is a workshop in March on the 18th. That's like, well, we take one impact statement and you're working the whole way through the process and you look down and you go, wow, it's a process. Like I totally get it and I'm doing it. Yeah. Do you need a branding guru? No. Hallelujah. I mean, what, everybody thinks they need a branding go, hey, that's why I'm writing the book. So it's easier than people would think. And it's just a process.
Thank you. That answered my question pretty well. I'm pretty sure that book, when it come out, it will be a hit because with like you said, clarifying that message is very important. And if there's a step to guide you through that, then
if somebody sends me their email to rich@richbrands.org, just sends me an email, put me on the list for the book. rich@richbrands.org, and that includes you. rich@richbrands.org, just say, put me on the list for the book. Believe me, you'll get an invitation. It should publish, I'm thinking April. It's mid-April.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. Are you guys there? Okay. I think we went to silence for a second. We are at like, it's time to say goodbye. I feel like singing the time to, but we're not going to do that because I'm not a singer. Rich, I'm thrilled to have had you with us for this segment here. I know you're going to be back as one of our segment hosts over the next few days.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be really great.
I will coordinate that with you. I couldn't get you on today because we needed to make sure we dialed it in ourselves so we knew it was going to work and not going to work. So I want to thank you very much for being with us, and you and I'll be in touch to get those details.
And I'm here to support what you're doing. I love what you're doing, and thank you too. Thank you both of you for hosting this and creating World Love Week. God bless you.
And to you too. Hang out with us if you like, or hang out in the Facebook group, whatever. I'm going to bring Madelein on in a second here because she is amazing. Go ahead. I see your fingers. Go ahead.
And remember, now is the time to define the brand you will become.
Amen, brother. Thank you. Good work. Awesome. Thrilled to have you.
Take
we're
care.
gonna bring on. I love this man. He's awesome. And look also at his backdrop as to how he's very cleanly and clearly indicated who he is. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ken Krell back again for another amazing session of World Love Week. And I got to tell you, I'm super excited about bringing this lady on because we worked together for the past, feels like 3 years, but it's only been like a month or so. And she is a master at what she does. She's absolutely incredible. She's the owner of Encore Elite Events and Speakers Need to Speak. And Danella Burnett is a creative force. And she is that with a passion for connecting experts to those that they serve through speaking and events, while she creates profitable visibility, and she does an amazing job of it. Through her connections, millions of dollars have been generated and tens of thousands of lives impacted through live events. Today, she's going to talk about love language and how to speak your way to wealth and get speaking gigs today. She is, as I said, a force of nature, and the events that we've done, the last event we did, our last World Love Week, our last, where she was with me for the last World Love Week 6 years ago, the last, what was it called? Pride. That's it. Danella said to me, she said, Ken, you look really tired. I'm like, thanks a lot. But that's what happens when you're up and you're doing crazy events like this. When I brought this event to her, she said, you are on crack. What is wrong with you? And that's the kind of person I want to work with, someone who will tell you out exactly how it is. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and my producer, not of this event, but of our next Pride again and our future Prides as well, Danella Burnett. Hey, kiddo.
Ken, thank you so much for having me here. And you know, when you shared this event with me 2 weeks ago, I did say you were crazy, but you really are crazy in a good way, because your heart and your passion to serve is evident in all that you do. And you know, you're crazy, but if I'm attaching myself to you and I keep going along with the ride, I don't know what that says about me. So
we're
here
getting
we are in it together. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone, you know, and this is Love Week, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to bring some value to this event, give some direction to some people who want to share a little bit more love in what I think is the fastest and most profitable way of getting your message out there, and that is through speaking and live events, which I know Ken believes in as well. So I'm honored for the opportunity to share a little bit with the viewers this evening.
You're going to love this. And by the way, when you watch, some of you are watching this live right now, others will be watching it throughout World Love Week. So whether you're day, night, evening, morning, and remember, we are 24 hours. So for some of us, like for me, it's 12 noon in the afternoon here in Sydney, and it's super late in the day for those in Europe. So and this is how it even got crazier, because I was like, well, we can't screw Europe. We have to make sure they have reasonable time too. So we're running 24/7, about to set a world record, I'm sure, but the longest insanity event nonstop, such as it is. But here's what we'll do. I'm going to let you run with it for a bit. I'll come back and visit with you a little bit later, and I will see if I can't make myself look less exhausted when I return.
No one else would know but me, only because I'm such a good friend, that you're a little bit tired tonight, but you have, again, done an incredible thing here. And, you know, for those of you who are here listening, you know, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory, kind of who I am and what I am and why I am so passionate about speaking and live events. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and talk about speaking. And I am a big believer that speakers need to speak and they need to get paid. So why am I passionate about this? Well, let me just tell you a little bit about who and what I am. And, you know, let's start off with what are some of the benefits and challenges of speaking. And if you were here with us live, you know, answer in the chat. If you're watching this in the live broadcast in the group, I do have that up beside me. So feel free to answer in the Facebook group, and I'll either catch it live if we're here in the broadcast, or I will definitely be looking for your answers, and you know, let's connect throughout this week. So what are some of the benefits and some of the challenges of speaking? Well, you build authority, you get leads, you can get clients, you make money, get connections. You can leverage your time. Instead of talking with just one person, you're now talking with many. Just before me was one of the greatest speakers in our generation, a prolific speaker, and that's Mr. Les Brown. Now, obviously, speaking on a stage with somebody like Les that I've had the privilege of doing in the past, that's going to build some authority. You know, when you speak, and whether it's now virtual or in person, you can get leads by offering people your services, inviting them to take your lead magnet or connect with you, text in for more information from you. But you can get leads, people who raise their hands and say they'd like more of the value you bring to the table. You can get clients directly from speaking. You can certainly make money from speaking in a variety of ways. When you're speaking, you're the one with the microphone, you're the one everybody's listening to. There are people who will want to connect with you. You can connect with other speakers, connect with other event hosts, and make amazing connections. And again, leveraging yourself from one to many. But what are some of the challenges to speaking? One, you've got to get good. Now, I have listened to many, many speakers tell me that they are natural speakers. I want to put that myth to bed right here and right now. There are natural talkers. There are people who are naturally more comfortable being in front of others. There are people who are more comfortable in sharing their point of view. But truly gifted, talented speaking, where you're sharing a point of view, where you're moving an audience, where you're creating transformation, where you're leading to a business or you're getting paid to speak, typically requires some coaching and or practice to get good. Become a master of your craft. And if your craft is speaking, then get the coaching, get the support that you need to get good on the stage and all elements of public speaking. Second challenge is finding the right stage. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as this goes on. Making the right offer. And that could be a free offer that you're making. It could be inviting people into your world. It could be selling from the stage. It could be, if you're a paid speaker, making the right offer to those employees or associates of the person who's paying you to speak, right offer for them to buy into the message that you're sharing with them. And then, of course, following up. When you speak, you typically have to do a lot of follow-up. So how do I know some of what I'm sharing with you? Well, my name's Danella Burnett, and I do come from Atlanta, Georgia. It is the evening here. It's 8 p.m. on Valentine's night of Love Week. And wherever you are in the world, I hope that you've enjoyed your Valentine's and you have celebrated some love in your life today. I'm a wife and a mom. There's my husband, Lee, my daughter, Emma, my son, JB. And I am all in for events. I have loved live events and hospitality since the age of 9. And the reason I know that is it was the age of 9 where I fell in love with Julia Child. I had found her on television, and this was not like today where you could find the Food Network and different food shows on, you know, almost 24/7. I found her on television when you had bunny ears on the TV and you actually had to get up out of your seat to change the channel. I found Julia Child, and there was something about her, the lilt in her voice, the passion that she had for hospitality that literally spoke to something deep inside of me. And I have been in the hospitality space since then. Started working with a friend of the family who was a caterer when I was 15 years old. I did go on to culinary school. I have a culinary arts degree and a food service management degree, both from Johnson and Wales. And then I went on to the Washington, D.C. area, managing restaurants, training chefs, being a chef, owning restaurants, having a catering business. And then I moved here to Georgia 19 years ago. And while I had done some event producing in DC, I produced a street long, a block long festival in Washington, D.C. We shut down the streets of D.C. and had our first Oktoberfest for a restaurant and a brewery that I was the general man or assistant general manager of. We had done personal events. We had done weddings. We had done reunions. We had done corporate events. It was really when I moved here to Atlanta 19 years ago that I really stepped into the role of event producing, personal events, nonprofit events, galas, corporate, community events. The largest event that I work on every year is with Simon Properties and 4th of July event for 175,000 people. Then about 10 years ago, we really stepped into the space of speakers and experts and enrollment, and I love it. Coaching, I have seen lives be transformed by phenomenal coaches sharing their expertise from the stage, connecting with the people they're meant to serve, and lives changing around the world. So that is the space that we are in, that we love to serve. We produce multiple events every year, from 1 to 3 day events, our own as well as clients. I've had the privilege of authoring several books. We have a new book coming out next month called Visibility with our speakers community. And we'll be featuring that at the event that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this broadcast. Serial entrepreneur, I have every dollar I've generated for the last 13 years has come through our company. And now I'm a speaker strategist and a speak to sell expert, helping speakers be profitable and monetize their opportunities on the stage. So this is the situation. This is the work that I've been in for the last decade. And as you can imagine, I went into 2020 with big hopes and a vision board, you know, that 2020 vision, if you will, and very excited for the possibilities. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of what my life has looked like the last 10 years, these are some of the live events that we've produced. We've been there with speakers, working with the Women of Global Change. You see Sharon Lecter. You also see the very recently late, great Frank Shankowitz of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. On the lower level here, this was actually our own event, our inaugural Speakers Need to Speak event in January in Atlanta last year. The great Monica Shaw. And as we continue to move forward, you'll see Laurel Langmeyer, Bill Walsh, Shelley Hunt, Araya McGarry, R.V. Robinson. You know, this is basically what my life has been like the last 10 years. Suzanne Evans. This was my own stage, the Speakers Need to Speak stage. Mark Usick, phenomenal hypnotist and mental speaking expert. T.R. Garland. This was at a big event that we did in Toronto in 2019. And this is what I'm used to. The speakers speak on the stage, and then there is the rush at the end where your audience has taken your offer. They want to do more with you, and they come to the back of the room where this was my place in the world, and they either sign up to work with you in more detail because they want to go further, they want to go faster, and they want to work with the speakers and the experts that we work with. So we went into 2020 with our arms outstretched and looking forward to an amazing, amazing year of live events. And then, of course, 2020 happened. In March of 2020, the rug got pulled out from underneath of us, as it did with everyone else. But before I talk about kind of that rug getting pulled out from underneath of us, I do want to tell on myself. This next couple of pictures were the pictures that were in my presentation pre-COVID, pre the lockdown of 2020. I actually made fun of virtual events. I made fun of events like we're doing here. I did not think that you could have the same impact in virtual events as you did in person. So everything that I spoke about was in-person speaking, in-person events, stages where you stepped up and you were live in front of the audience that you wanted to share with. Now, you can imagine I've had to change my tune just a little bit, but I want to share with you what I shared before the lockdown. I would share this picture of my son on his first birthday. and remind an audience that you would never take out your phone and text happy birthday to somebody. You know you need to be there. So texting, in my opinion, was not the right fit instead of in person. I would show this and I would talk about email. We would never email an important question like, will you marry me? And for those of you in the audience, had that question come in the form of an email, would you have said yes? Of course not. So I would talk to an audience about how email doesn't get the job done either. You need to be in person. And even better, this is a picture of me swimming with the dolphins in Jamaica, one of our big vacations in 2019. And I would make fun of Zoom. Can you believe that? I made fun of Zoom, that it was just as good as being there, right? Obviously, very sarcastic when I said that prior to March of 2020. And I would point out that, this is a great tool, and here digitally with you, these are great tools for connecting with people, for being efficient. But I did not believe that this could take the place of in person. Boy, have I been proven wrong. Because while I was ready to soar, and March of 2020, I wasn't sure where we were going to go. And my initial thought was, what is going to happen in 2020? I am so grateful to say that as experts, as event producers, event planners, event experts, speakers, and event hosts, we have turned around and created the most incredible events in this virtual space. So these are the companies that we have now. Encore Elite Events is how we help national and international producers such as Ken have amazing and profitable events by supporting them to get their goals accomplished. Here locally in Georgia, we have Oakwood Occasions, which serves events, the community events we do on a local basis. My husband and I also own Linear Tent Rental, tents and events, which was the hardest hit very, very quickly in 2020. The weekend of the 13th through the 16th, we had $121,000 in cancellations in tents and tables and chairs, from the university graduation to golf tournaments, weddings, anything that you can imagine that people had come to us to get tents and events. Everything from March through May was immediately canceled over that weekend. And we have our speakers community that we launched in 2019, where we help our speakers get out on more stages and we provide them leads, resources, and community. So while I felt diversified before March of 2020, I quickly discovered that we were still all in the event space and we took a hard hit. However, I'm pleased to note now in 2021, all of our businesses across the board have actually had our best year ever because we did make the shift to virtual, and because our tents actually were very much needed for COVID treatment and testing. So grateful to say we have moved forward and made the shifts that we needed to, and the shifts that I want to help you make to make sure that you are speaking and using events to grow your business. So this is what it looks like now. It's crazy, but everything that I said, making fun of virtual events, I now live and breathe on a daily basis. I've always believed that where there are great challenges, there are great opportunities. And 2020, I think, showed that to us in a big, big way. So speaking and events are still the answer. So this is what it looks like now. That's my office. I now have multiple computers set up, multiple laptops. Here we actually have me speaking right next to Mr. Brown, who spoke a moment or so earlier today, speaking with Les on a stage here virtually. Another event that we did, here's what it looks like. Here doing an event with Brian Tracy. Here we have an event, 2020 and 21 are actually so much better than they were before because there's more speaking opportunities than ever. You have social media live shows. There's been a podcast explosion, and there's even more live opportunities that you can share your message, share your brilliance, share what you want to with the world, and grow your business and have events. So I want to share with you, you know, I often have speakers come to me and they go, how do I find speaking opportunities? So I'm going to share 5 free ways for you to find speaking opportunities here in the virtual space. And so you might want to get a pen. This is a great time to get a pen and a piece of paper. And while you're getting that, I'm just going to peek really quick and see if there's any comments over here on the Facebook page. Great. Hi, Charmaine. Hi, Michelle. Glad to have you here. And Michelle says 2020 wasn't lying about being the year of clarity, and you are absolutely right in that. So while you've gotten your pen and your paper, I'm going to share with you 5 free ways that you can find speaking opportunities. And again, if you have comments, feel free to put them in the chat, and I will check on that periodically because I love to answer questions and make sure that you get the resources and the tools that you need. So the first way for you to find speaking opportunities right here in the virtual space is to take a look at your network. But what I mean by your network is all the areas that you're connected to, and not just professionally. Maybe you are connected to your children's PTA. Maybe you are connected to alumni associations or business associations. Maybe it's your networking groups. Maybe it's your personal, the hobbies that you have. Maybe you're connected to associations or organizations. I would encourage you, and you can even look in your checkbook, like, where do you pay membership dues to? You know, is there a country club? Is there, you know, a local club that you're a part of? Is there a national organization? What is your network that you are connected to, that you are a member of, or that you follow on a regular basis? Write down a list of all of those and then reach out to each one of them. See if there are speaking opportunities in those networks. Maybe you've never thought of speaking at your local chamber of commerce, or you've never thought of speaking to your kids' PTA. Now that there is this virtual opportunity, there are great opportunities to share doing a workshop, maybe for a group that you've never done one for before. Maybe there's speaking opportunities that you've just never taken a look at before. So your network could be filled with great speaking opportunities. So list all of those, reach out and see if there are speaking opportunities in your network. Take a look at your past. Pull out your calendar from 2018, 2019, even 2020. And if you've attended an event or you've spoken at an event, and if you ever kind of looked around at the audience around you, whether they were in front of you or beside you, and you thought to yourself, these are my people. I'd really like to share with this audience. I have something of value that I can give to them. Then you want to reach out and find out, are they doing events now? Do they have an event on their calendar? Can you create an opportunity to speak to them? Can you speak in their social media, in their group? Can you put together a workshop? Do they have a larger event coming up? Do they have podcasts? So take a look at your past in order to fill your calendar for the future. The third is collaborations. Now, what I mean by collaboration and why this is different than network is a collaborator is someone where you share the same audience, but you serve them in a different way. For example, I speak to speakers, authors, experts, event hosts, coaches. I speak on speaking. I speak on producing events. I don't speak on books, for example. So a good collaboration for me could be anyone who's in the book space, like a publisher or a ghostwriter or a coach on books, or somebody who helps market books. Anyone on the book side of the business, that's a great collaboration where maybe we could do something together, or I can invite them to speak to my audience of speakers, authors, experts, event hosts. And if I offer for them to speak to my people, they're likely to offer for me to speak to theirs. So those collaborations where you share the same audience, but you serve them in a different way is a great opportunity for collaboration. That one tip alone could easily keep your calendar filled for the foreseeable future. Look at all of those people that, other coaches that either have events, you can do swaps on social media, you can do swaps on stages, but you collaborate in ways that you work together to even better serve the audience that you share. The fourth way is social media. Now, social media can sometimes be a little bit of a rabbit trail. So I do encourage you to be really purposeful in the way that you use social media to find speaking opportunities. One, you can post on your social media. Make sure every once in a while on your LinkedIn profile or your Facebook profile, in the about section, it should say that you're a speaker and what kind of speaking opportunities you're looking for. So when people go research you on social media, they see that. You can also post your speaker one sheet every once in a while on your social media postings so that people see what your talk titles are, what you want to speak about, what value do you bring to a stage. You can also use social media to look at their calendars to see what events are coming up. You can, and you want to be in the social media where your audience is. So whether your audience is on Instagram or Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, or now Clubhouse, that's where you want to be. And I'll touch on Clubhouse briefly. It's become all the rage in the last month or two, to be on Clubhouse. You literally can create your own stage on Clubhouse at any time by opening a room. Open a room with a great topic, a great title that's going to share what your topic is about. You might even have invited some other people to moderate that room that speak on the same topic, and you literally have created your own stage. You can do the same thing with Facebook Lives or LinkedIn Lives. I now host 2 Clubhouse rooms every week. One on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern called Podcasts and Events, Grow Your Audience, Authority, and Profits, and one on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern called Speakers Need to Speak. It's the name of my speakers community, so I'm getting that word out there. But then we pick a topic that's relevant for speakers, and we invite seasoned and starter speakers to share their point of view, get feedback, get tips, and I frequently invite other event producers and other event experts to give valuable feedback to speakers. So I've created those 2 stages weekly by creating a Clubhouse room that's interesting to the audience that I want to serve. So social media can be a great way to find or create your own speaking opportunities. And I do also, I mentioned before, but can be a little bit of a rabbit hole and take up a bunch of time. So you do want to be very purposeful in what you do with social media and speaking opportunities. I'm going to look really quick and just refresh before we go to number 5, see if we have any questions for those first few requests on the Facebook page. Great, not just yet. If you do have questions, feel free to go ahead and put them on the Facebook group right underneath this broadcast. So number 5 is research on Google. Now this too can be kind of an opening for rabbit trails. So you want to be really purposeful in the way you do research on social media. I like to remind everyone that speakers need to speak, but they also need to get paid. So I like to use the acronym SAIL. So if you'll write down on your notes, number 5, the acronym SAIL, I'm going to tell you what those 5 things are for me to do a great keyword search to find speaking opportunities using Google. So I think speakers need to speak, but they also need to get paid. So the first S stands for speaking opportunities. And you want to use some variation of speaking, speaking opportunities, or speaker as your first keyword when you do a Google search. I have 2 words for audience because I believe using 2 descriptors of your perfect audience is just going to get you a more targeted search and better results that you can then follow up with to find speaking opportunities. Whoops. By now, if you are a speaker, you should have a laundry list of words that describe your perfect audience. If you don't, this is a great opportunity to do that. You want to use adjectives and nouns that describe your perfect audience. So in my case, it's men, it's women, it's professionals, it's speakers, it's experts, it's coaches. You want to have a list like that as well. And when you're using this Google method, you want to use 2 words. So if you want to speak to millennial professionals, or you want to speak to male dentists, or you want to speak to women corporate executives, using 2 different descriptors of your perfect audience each time you do a search is just going to get you a better result in that first page or 2 of results. And then the next time you do a search, you can switch up those words. The 4th is location. Now, right now, everything's virtual. You might say, why do I need to put in a location? Well, the location can still be important for 2 reasons. One, your product or services or programs might serve a local audience. So the location might be important to you because you want to be speaking more so to a local audience. Maybe you want to expand nationally. Maybe you want to expand into another state. Maybe you want to start speaking internationally in this virtual world. I have found that event hosts still have the greatest amount of influence in the area that they are in. So the location, even though the event may be virtual, the audience is still likely to be more centered around the location of the event host. So if the location matters to you because you either want to grow into a new area or you want to stay in a smaller geography, the location is important. And of course, as we move on this year and we move, into hybrid and we move back into in-person events, that location can still be very critical. So you do want to have a location in there, and it might be your city, your county, your state, the country. It might be international. So that location will again help you just get better search results. And number 5 is the event type. Maybe you want to speak to smaller groups and you like a more intimate or workshop style presentation. In that case, you would want to use words like meetup or workshop or networking group. Maybe I said meetup. Maybe you want to speak to larger audiences. And if that's the case, you want to use words like expo or conference, live event. So the event type, using that terminology, will also help identify the kind of event that you're going to speak at and what's going to come up first in that search. Now, this can be a very time-consuming task. This could be something that you could delegate to a VA. This could be something that you use a service like ours to do for you. This is a big reason why we launched Speakers Need to Speak, was because we discovered a lot of speakers don't take the time to do some of these things that I've just shared with you. These are all free ways to find speaking opportunities, but they are things that will require time, either your time for somebody on your team, or time that you outsource to someone else. And you may have noticed that virtual is at the speed of fast. And so whether you're using these free techniques or you're getting some support and getting out on speaking gigs, you want to work quickly you want to work systematically, and you want to work consistently, because that's what will keep your calendar filled. One of the reasons that we launched Speakers Need to Speak was, we were constantly putting speakers into our own events or into our clients' events, and we would have speakers coming back to us and saying, "That was great. Can you find me another opportunity?" And we paused for a long time because I didn't know about putting speakers into other opportunities. But when enough people ask you the same question, how many people, and you can, let me know in the chat, how many of you have created something because your clients basically told you that was what they wanted from you? Well, that was exactly what happened in our case. We had enough clients who were telling us that they wanted help, that they were having difficulty getting speaking opportunities. And so we got to work on how can we help our speakers, because there's plenty of speaking opportunities out there. Pre-COVID, there were 7,000 speaking opportunities every single day in the United States. And now in this virtual world, there are anywhere 3 to 5 times that amount every single day. So it's not a lack of speaking opportunities. It is challenging, though, to find the right speaking opportunities for you that are going to get you the results that you're looking for, whether you're looking for more authority, or you're looking for more leads, you're looking for more clients, or you're looking to get paid to speak. It can be a challenge to find those right opportunities quickly, and you've got to be doing it consistently. Because the other challenge that we saw speakers having prior was if they had a few gigs on their calendar, they stopped doing some of this work. But when those gigs are completed and you're looking ahead at a calendar that doesn't have the speaking opportunities you want, we would see speakers get busy with some of these tasks. Well, that kind of roller coaster activity doesn't really help you grow your business. Consistency and having a system for finding speaking opportunities, reaching out to them, and securing those opportunities is really the way to grow your business. And that's why we created Speakers Need to Speak, in order to bring leads, resources, and community to speakers to support them in that system and that consistency, and to get out on more stages around the world, whether they're virtual or in person. So again, I'll just reiterate or let you guys, if you didn't take notes before, these are all the benefits of speaking and the challenges, and we wanted to solve some of those challenges for our clients. So we created Speakers Need to Speak. And the first thing that we offer every single month to our speakers is 100 hot speaking leads. And these leads are actually curated every single month by my team, doing that kind of research that a lot of speakers don't have time for. They curate these, meaning they find them and they speak to somebody to make sure that is a valid speaking opportunity. They are looking for speakers. It is open for the right speakers to apply for those opportunities. So we found that speakers needed to know they were going to have speaking leads every single month, and we provide that. The second thing that we provide all of our speakers from the beginning is our Crush It from the Stage checklist. This is, whether it's a virtual stage or an in-person stage, this is all of the things that you want to have completed. Your speaker one sheet, all of the things you want to do to mentally and physically prepare to take the stage, all of the things that you want to have in place after the stage. This is that checklist that, regardless of your speaking opportunity, you can pull this checklist out and make sure that you are ready, you are prepared, you are positioned, and you are ready to be profitable from the stage. We also know that speakers need community and they need ongoing resources. Speaking is not one and done. It is a journey. So in our Speakers Need to Speak community, we also have 3 monthly times where you can plug in and get the 10-minute topic is me as the expert, letting you know what's going on in the industry. We also bring in experts from outside our community to share with you more ways to get good, get paid, get clear, get gigs, and get events. And we have a networking event every month because our community needs to be connecting to each other, because when one speaker gets opportunities, often it's a great opportunity for another speaker. And we see our speakers doing business with each other because they are authorities in such diverse topics. We also have a podcasters looking for guests directory. Podcasts didn't used to be looked at in the same vein as a stage that you stepped up on, but we now really look at all of these speaking opportunities, as visibility events. So podcasting is an important part of speakers getting their message out, finding clients, and getting heard. So we have a podcasters looking for guest directory with over 700 podcasters that you're going to get access to on day one of joining our community. We also have upcoming events, and I want to definitely share with you, and I'll put the link in the chat. We have an event coming up on March 4th through the 6th. It's our next Speakers Need to Speak visibility event, because we know you want to connect with other speakers and you want to get all of the resources and tools that you need to be a better speaker. So over this 3 days, I'm going to have experts in, and we're going to go all through the speaker's journey as it is here in 2021 to support you. But an exciting thing is we also have a speakers competition. Throughout this competition, every attendee is encouraged to apply to speak. And throughout the weekend, we will have all of our speakers giving their point of view, getting feedback from professional event producers, event hosts. Ken will be one of our judges as well, as some other experts that I'm bringing in. That prize package is over $10,000 in speaking opportunities, cash, prizes, programs, and services that you as speakers need. And if you join Speakers Need to Speak, you're going to get automatic upgrades to VIP, and you're going to get invited to our Speakers Need to Speak visibility event. In addition to events that we do throughout the year, last year we had 4 separate events for our members. Frequently, our members are invited for free, or they will get upgrades like we're doing for the Speakers Need to Speak visibility event. We just had a workshop a couple of weeks ago where I had experts like Jim Britt, Blue Melnick, Suzanne Evans, the actress Kim Coles, and several others that came in just to speak to our community, and it was free of charge for our members to attend, because I know you not only need my expertise, but in order to continue to grow in your speaker's journey, you need access to the top of the top industry experts around the world, and we bring you that. You're also going to get a weekly orientation and training on using the speaker leads. So every week we have an office hour that you can pop in. It is complimentary to all of our members. So you are never more than a few days away from being able to get your important questions answered. So if you are having a challenge with a speaker's application, if you've created a new one sheet and you want some feedback, if you want to go over a new story that's in your talk and you want to get some feedback from me and from other members of the community, if you want some support around answering a question on a speaker application, whatever it is, you're never more than a few days away from being able to get that immediate help that you need by just plugging in to the open office hour that we have every week so that we can support you. Our philosophy is, as a speaker, you need to get clear, you need to get good, you need to get paid, you need to get gigs, and you need to get events. And this is a journey that you're going to be on for as long as you're a speaker. I want to talk a moment about hosting your own events, because many of our speakers do become event hosts. Some of the benefits of being your own host, which is leveraging your own platform, is you get huge authority. You can grow your community. You can sell high ticket items. You can fill your other programs, create amazing partnerships. You can leverage one-to-many. There are challenges with hosting an event. It could be expensive. You have to fill the room. You have to know how to market the room. It takes time and it takes team. Well, how would you like to know how you can do that quickly? Well, we're going to be hosting a one-day workshop called the Live Event Navigator. If you join our community, the Speakers Need to Speak community, you will get an invitation to our one-day workshop. And in that one-day workshop, you're going to learn about planning, the strategies, the process for launching an event, understanding the energies of events, how to budget. This is a great overview. Now, this is not going to turn you into an event producer. What it is going to do is make you an educated event host so that you can move forward with your own event without losing your shirt or losing your sanity. Well, we're going to be doing, and I'm going to skip over this. I wasn't sure I was going to show this presentation, so I didn't update this. We will be scheduling a new one of these in April. So by joining our community, you'll obviously get our new date, and we're going to offer you a ticket to that workshop as a gift when it's planned in April. So if you're ready to get on more platforms, to have the right event experience, and possibly make money with live events, I would ask you to join me in this virtual world. The fastest path to making money with events, speaking and hosting, and join us in Speakers Need to Speak. I've already shared with you a little bit about what our Speakers Need to Speak program includes, and it is easily valued at over $4,000. But because you are here with the World Love Week, if you go to our website right now, you'll see that Speakers Need to Speak is $997 per year. And we also offer it as a $99 a month. But because you're part of World Love Week, I'm going to put a link in the chat, and you're going to be able to get this for $797 for the year, $200 off our annual pricing. So instead of $997 per year, it'll just be $797. You're going to get a full year. I'm going to go through these next that are a different link. Sharing with some of our success stories of our clients. These are some of the things that we've helped them do in the last year in this virtual space. You can see booking events, hosting their own events, speaking at other events, and generating large sums of money, getting great new clients. And there, just last month, we booked our speakers into 105 speaking opportunities alone. So again, these are the benefits to Speakers Need to Speak. We're also going to give you a ticket to that Live Event Navigator, and we are going to gift you a ticket to the upcoming Live Event Navigator and our upcoming Speakers Need to Speak event. So that's been a lot of information I've given you in the last 49 minutes. I'm going to look really close and see if we have, thank you, DK. He tells me that our last workshop was awesome. He was there with us with those experts. And I'm going to see if there's any other comments here. And I see Ken has just joined us again.
I never left you. I was
just
off.
Listening.
I was just off camera. No, you have an amazing community, and a number of our speakers actually during World Love Week have come from Speakers Need to Speak as well, and they're wonderful people. I know DK is one of your members, and he's one of my favorite people too. He's actually been featured at some of my events. So you do have a great community, and if this resonates for you, then you should go ahead and grab the link to go ahead and do. Did you give everybody the link yet, Danella?
I'm actually putting it in the chat in the Facebook group right now.
Okay, awesome. And what we'll do also, it will be on the dashboard on the page that you've got, and I think Charmaine's getting that in place for you now as well. So you guys you guys will be able to have that also. I recommend it. No one goes on my platform, just so you guys know. No, and when I say guys, that's a technical term, that's generic for human, just so that no one feels offended by that. In any event, I don't put anybody on my stage that I don't recommend, that I don't feel comfortable with. And if I don't have personal experience with them, then it's a very strong referral. So that, because again, your name is your bond in this business, and you truly need to stand behind what you do. So it's really important. Just as Danella recommended this event to her speakers, I recommend, and not as a tit for tat, but because truly we want to hang out with the right people. Think about the communities that you want to hang out in. We talk about World Love Week and the idea that love really is a great way of doing business. Well, taking care of the people that you work with is important. You know, when I approached Danella about actually doing some joint ventures together, because her community is a perfect community to be trained on what I teach during our Pride events, which is how to produce ridiculously irresistible digital events, which frankly, Danella does a lot of for me, because as you know, doctors should not heal thyself. Lawyers should not lawyer for them for thyself. So those that are professionals in this business will bring on people to do the legwork so that they don't have to focus on mechanics, they can focus on delivery. Very important distinction there. My attitude about a presentation and about an event is that if I'm going to deliver the content, which is what I teach you to do, you need someone that can be there to make sure that the actual mechanics of the event run super smoothly, so you can focus on your audience rather than, gee, where's that video? Where's that audio? Oh my gosh, the chat's going down, you know, or the website crashed, or whatever the heck it could be, you know, or wait, the speaker didn't show up, you know, which has happened before. So I got to tell you that to have what I consider a partner to work with you on that is golden. And so I have that in this a beautiful woman that you're looking at right now, who has really been there. Yeah. And I can tell you that when you choose a training partner, education partner, a business partner, if you will, and it doesn't mean an equity partner per se, it means someone that you do something together with to reach a common goal. Having that person of like mind is critically important. And, you know, we can continue to have the, you know, the accolades for each person type of thing, but we talk so much about right fit audience, and the term audience is another technical term. Having the right fit people to work with, the right team, for example. So right now, while we're here in the front of the camera, Charmaine, who's on my team, is taking care of some of the back end stuff, and she's doing it with a headache. So everyone send healing energy to Charmaine, because she's been putting in a lot of extra hours, and she makes things happen. That could not happen without, again, the right fit. So whoever you work with, have that right fit go on, and choose your communities wisely, because the right community will raise you up. The right community will support you through your journey. I can tell you that our Safari community, for example, which is my high-end coaching program, when they heard about Zor's interest in helping people in his home country of South Sudan, help him bring solar to them, they were like, how can we help? How can we help? Which is how this event took place. Having that community of cheerleaders to cheer you on the same way is so important. And just knowing the heart that you're looking at right now in front of you, the community that she attracts, you know, you're kind of crazy not to be part of it. If you're feeling in your body right now the resonance of, she's pretty cool, I want to hang out with her, then you want to just go ahead and click that link and make it happen. That's just my take on it. And I could go on for hours about you, but I can tell you what else. So if you take a look at the ROI of what you do, of training and development, and you can just shut me up whenever you want. This is really your time, Danella, but you know, you got me going, girl. You got me going. If you take a look at the ROI of that, one idea, one speaking gig, one moment of time can change everything. And I got to tell you, your events don't need to make you a lot of money up front, but the connections that they bring to you can make you lots of money over and over and over again. And that is a huge case in point. When we ran, and some of you are seeing, when we finish the segment with Danella, we will be showing more replays, some great replays of our Opportunity Fund event, which we had last year, Well, that event, while it didn't make a fortune, it provided a valuable service and kickstarted an entire new career for me worth millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars. And more than that, refreshed relationships with people such as Les Brown, who's coming on with us live during this week at what is this week? World Love Week. Yeah, there we go. You know, and by the way, being real with your audience is so important. So having that connection with so many other speakers and so on, and being part of that community really makes a humongous difference. And even if it's just nothing more than making a great friend, what's that worth to you?
Well, sharing your brilliance, you know, I know that I spoke a lot about business here, but honestly, sharing what's on your heart and you have a passion about and the way that you serve the world is sharing love. I mean, it's a perfect tie into this week. I have long since believed that it is the speakers and the experts and the intuitives and those that are getting their messages out there are what's going to fix that broken world.
Yep.
So if you have a message inside of you, get good on a stage. Have somebody like me support you getting out there and helping people. That is, helping people is the greatest expression of love, in my opinion. And you need to have support to do that, because speaking in events is not a solo sport by any stretch of the imagination. And Ken touched on that. You know, when Ken produced his event, now he's been a professional event host and event producer for many, many years. But when he did his event, he hired me to support him in the back of the room. My events, we bring on support. I mean, you've got to have the right support around you. You're not meant to do this alone. And this week, tying in, find the support in this group. Everyone who's connected here through World Love Week, these are the people that want people to succeed. So find collaborative partners here. Find creative people in relationships and partnerships. Like Ken said, it's not necessarily that legalistic partnership in business, but find those people you can collaborate with and partner with that are good at the things you're not. And so you could do the things that you are, and together you go further and you go faster and you help more people. So I'm just grateful to be a part of this week and share a little bit of you know, my knowledge with everyone here. And I look forward to connecting.
You know, I by the way, I'm so totally grateful for your being here and sharing your time, sharing your love, and in the planning stage of this, sharing your time and your wisdom, even if it was encouraging me to go down this rabbit hole of insanity this week. Having that cheerleader that's with you is really, really important. And I got to tell you, if you're going to take speaking on as a journey, and I recommend that you do, because I'll give you something else to think about. We've had some people on the platform over this course of just the beginning of World Love Week that have talked about their adversity, that have talked about the challenges that they've had, whether it's been suicide or divorce or death or you name it. Trust me, there's enough theoretically bad stuff out there, right? But when you're on a stage and you're using that as a tool to help others, your dark days seem to melt away because you're out there giving to other people. And that's a fantastic means of therapy. So I just want to acknowledge you for watching, you for being here with us, Danella. And I want to encourage you guys as we land this plane, because I think who's coming up next, Roland Fraser is coming up next. And it's a fantastic interview that I did with him and he'll reveal how in 5 days he created nearly $750,000 and then went on after this interview was completed, after he went on doing millions after that with just a 5-day program that just called on his expertise. Nothing more, knew all the stuff he was delivering. So it's pretty amazing. So Danella Burnett, you are a gem. I love you to pieces. I encourage all of you to join her, and you can catch her. You'll see her on the dashboard. She put some links in the chat. Grab her as best you possibly can from a distance and become part of her community. I love you.
Love you too. Look forward to seeing you all at our event in a couple of weeks. And if membership is right for you, love to invite you into our community. And if you're not sure, just come to the event and meet some of our community. And I cannot wait to support you. And Ken, I love you as always.
Thanks, Danella. See you. Bye, everybody. Here comes Roland Fraser.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on our next guest, who I consider both a dear friend, and she, to me, I would say, is the epitome of GSD, get shit done. She is phenomenal, and she's just phenomenal. Look at that smile. Look at the backdrop. I'm not like, that's just amazing. Let me find her true intro before I tell you my part of the story with her, so I can at least do the right thing here. Pam Heath is a certified life coach and business strategist. I haven't even read this yet. I had no idea. Has a popular podcast, has led extraordinary workshops for over 27 years. If you're looking to transform your life or expand your capability and capacity for new possibilities, she is your go-to guru for power, passion, and fun. I love those words. But I'm going to tell you the other story about Pam Heath, because you need to know this about this crazy woman. And I say crazy in the best sort of way. So Pam is a member of my Safari group, which is our high-end program of people that produce ridiculously irresistible digital events. And when she joined, she said, Ken, how long should I plan to get my first event done? And I said, 6 to 8 weeks would be about right. Get it all set up, get it organized, and, don't do anything stupid like what we did for World Love Week. 10 days ain't the way to do a really proper event. And Pam said, okay, great. Thank you very much. And basically, using adult language, he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm doing it now. So 2.5 weeks later, she ran her first event. Was it perfect? No, but it really was. Because guess what? In the space of that 2.5 weeks, she assembled a small group, 8 people showed up, and she made over $18,000 in that 1-day program. So I got to tell you something. This is a woman that loves to get stuff done. She does not take no for an answer. That's why she's the Yes coach. And I could not be more excited to bring her with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Pam Heath. Yay.
No autographs, no autographs.
You are my poster child for getting shit done, my lady.
Well, I call myself the Yes coach, and there's a reason I call myself the Yes coach, because I say yes.
I love it.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the energy of yes, because that's what people ask me about. They say, what is this yes thing? And I want to tell you, I live in the world of yes. And it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary hanging out in yes. And I invite people to come play with me in the world of yes. And that's why I call myself the Yes coach. And that's why I call my process the science of yes. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me so you can get my credentials, and then maybe you'll listen thoroughly. Maybe you'll just, tune out because I'm too woo-woo. But I'm a single parent, and I live in Southern California, and I have one adult son, and he's an aspiring music producer. And what I do for a living, I'm a yes coach, and that's pretty much what I do. And right now, there are people who are listening who are asking themselves, and the big question they're asking themselves is, what is this yes coaching? So I'm going to get to that. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that. That's what this talk is all about. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. And I studied broadcast journalism because my intention was to be a newscaster. And I found that reporting the news was boring. So much of reporting the news reminded me of that Don Henley song, if you're familiar with it. It's called Dirty Laundry. Google the lyrics. It's completely like that. Kick them when you're up, kick them when you're down, kick them when you're up, kick them all around. And that's the world of broadcast news. That just wasn't for me. So I spent the next 27 years as a legal administrator, and then an operations manager, and ultimately a human resource expert. And that's like a big freaking deal, because it was so corporate and so structured, and that is not who I am. I'm actually not corporate and structured at all, but I was able to pull that off because the way that I operate, I say yes. So if you need me to be corporate and structured, yes. If you need me to be on point and interacting with people powerfully, yes. So based on that I say yes to whatever is available, whatever is possible. I say you can have anything you want. You can manifest anything you want just by saying yes. So by being a yes, you expand your capacity. You expand your capacity to anything you're willing to say yes to. And it's not just semantics. It's not just the word yes. You don't have to learn how to say yes in 18 different languages. It's a mindset. It's all about a mindset and how you live your life and who you be as you're living your life. And I know that's also resonating with some question. What you mean, Pam, by who you be? Okay, so who you be in life is how you operate. It's who you are, and what you do is sourced by who you are. And if who you are is yes, that's why I say you can have a life of power, passion, and fun. Because when you say yes, that's all there is to it. And it's not complicated. And we human beings, we tend to complicate things. I don't know why that is. We're just built that way. But life is amazingly simple. It really is. So the science of yes is a simple way to go about enhancing your life too. Now, when I talk about the power of yes, there's a couple of things that I'm taking for granted. And I'm going to say that right now up front, in case there's people there that this isn't true for. Then I'm talking to you, but I'm wasting my time. And what I'm relying on is a couple of things. Number one, you want the life of your dreams, and you want that yes, I can attitude, and you want more smiles, more joy, more happiness. You want those things. So that's why I'm speaking to you right now, because you want a life given by the science of yes. That's you, right? I'm talking to the right person? Okay, well, let's find out. So why do I call my process the science of yes? How come exactly? Well, in order to answer that question, we're going to have to look at the definition of the word science. So I'm about to read to you, straight out of the dictionary, the definition of the word science. Now, check this out. The intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. Now I'm gonna read that again because that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. Now, I'm not gonna expect you to memorize this. I'm gonna read it one more time, okay? The intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. Bam, the science of yes. So what you want to get clear about around yes is that you know what you want in life, and you know through observation and experiment the actions you have to take to have those things. So doing what you always wanted to do in life, you have to take charge, say you want it, and then go after it. And that's why yes is a science, because through observation and experiment, you are busily, actively, aggressively going for what you want. Going for what you want because you say you want it and you're committed to having it. And so you take it on inside the science of yes. Hey, didn't know that, didn't you? So yes, you are actually going with the flow of the universe, because I say the universe resonates at yes. I say the universe is always a yes to you, and that you have to be open to hear yes when you ask for something. Now we're going to take a second, because I like to use movie and music analogies to help my clients when I'm coaching them. So I'm going to take a minute to do an analogy for you right now. I'm just that kind of gal, okay? And one of the analogies that I love to use, is my favorite one, is from the Disney motion picture called Aladdin. Now, this is the animated one. I realize there's a live action one with Will Smith, which, I think that's really great and everything. But when I'm talking about Aladdin, I'm talking about the real Aladdin, the one where Robin Williams was the voice of the genie. And in this movie, if you haven't seen it, it's worth streaming. When Aladdin first goes in the cave, finds the lamp, rubs the lamp, and out pops the genie, who was the voice of Robin Williams. The genie told him, I'm going to grant you 3 wishes because you rubbed the lamp. And Aladdin was confused, like, what? 3 wishes, what? And so the genie sang this song to him. Now, I'm not going to burst into song, so no need to get nervous, but I am going to read to you the lyrics of the song he sang, because it emphasizes what I say the science of yes is. And the name of the song that he sang is You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me. I'm going to read you some of the lyrics, so check it out. And you might want to take notes. You've got some power in your corner now, some heavy ammunition in your camp. You've got some punch, pizzazz, yahoo, and how. You see, all you got to do is rub that lamp. And I'll say, Mr. Aladdin, sir, what will your pleasure be? Let me take your order, jot it down. You ain't never had a friend like me. Life is your restaurant. I'm your maitre d'. Come on, whisper what it is you want. You ain't never had a friend like me. See, we pride ourselves on service. You're the boss, the king, the shah. Say what you wish. It's yours to dish. How about a little more baklava? How about that baklava? Have some from column A. Try all of column B. Say, I'm in the mood to help you do. You ain't never had a friend like me. That's an exciting song, right? But guess what? I say the universe sings that song to you every day when you get up in the morning. You ain't never had a friend like me. What can I grant you today? And you're not listening. You don't hear, because consider for just a moment that the universe, in the voice of Robin Williams, is saying that to you. Take one from column A, take all from column B. What would you ask for? What would you be looking at? A new car, a new romance, a new career? What exactly do you want? The whole point is this: anything you want, anything that you want is available to you. All you have to do is ask for it. And then, wait for it, take the actions correlate with that are inside of, yes, I can have that. So you don't get to go for it believing all the time in the background that you can't have it. You actually have to take it on, knowing it's yours. It's a done deal. Now, you might be hearing a little bit of the elements of the law of attraction when I'm talking right now, and there's a reason for that, because I am talking about the law of attraction. And some people take on the law of attraction, but they forget the crucial part. You see, in order for you to be living in the science of yes, when you take on the law of attraction, you have to believe, you have to know that that's your thing, and start to take the road to get there, because you know it's yours. And that's the piece that's missing for most people who operate inside the law of attraction. See, the law of attraction is a universal law of the universe. Whether you believe it or not is irrelevant. The universe has a lot of laws like that. You can't see it, touch it, or smell it. You can't prove it exists, but you live your life inside of the confines of it. The universe has a lot of laws like that. For instance, gravity. Gravity is one of those universal laws that you can't see it, touch it, or feel it, but you live your life inside the rules of it. You cannot go to the top of your building, whether it's your apartment, your house. What goes up must come down. And unless you have something pulling or pushing against the law of gravity, when you jump off that building, you're going down, down, down. Or if you're in an airplane, you're going up, up, up. But the airplane operates inside the confines of the law of the universe called gravity. There's a lot of laws like that. I could go on all day, but I'll mention another one, because there's one law of the universe that we all learned when we were kids, at least those of us who had a bicycle. It's called balance. You can't see, smell, or touch it. You can't prove it exists, but you live your life inside the confines of it, because when you first get on that bike, unless you learn balance, unless you get it down, unless you got yourself smoothly sliding into that law, you're going to fall off that bike or those skates or whatever thing that you're taking on. You like it or not, you live your life inside of it. Same thing. The science of yes exists inside the law of attraction. And it's not a law you can prove. You can't see, touch, or feel it, but it's there, and you live your life in the confines of it. And I'm giving you access by teaching you about yes. so that you can leverage your knowledge and belief in that power to have anything you want. So all you need to do is decide, what is it that I want? What is it that I'm going to go after? What is it that I'm going to take on? And then take it on. Take it on, do the actions correlate with you having that thing, and don't give up till you get it. Unless you change your mind, you don't want it anymore. But remember, it's valuable for you to take on, that it's up to you. It's not up to your friend across the street. It's not up to your parents, and it's not their fault if you don't get it. So you're all grown now, and blaming your parents or blaming any backwards past incident from stopping you now today is all inside of you're not willing to own and be reliable to manifest anything you want. And I know that it's not easy. I know that for some of you, you've dealt with some major circumstances. Trust me, so did I. I have been a coach for many, many years, and I've had just about everything you can possibly imagine. My oldest child committed suicide in 2007. That broke my heart. I didn't think I'd recoup from that. I lost my job because I got so depressed I couldn't show up for work. Because I lost my job, I lost my dream home, which I manifested on a dime. I lost it that quick too. My beautiful dream car, I lost that too. I've been homeless. I've lived in my car. Anything that you could point to, that you could say is a loss, tragic, dramatic, or otherwise, has happened to me. And yet here I sit, surrounded by hearts on Valentine's Day, wishing you a happy Valentine's Day, loving life and loving the process I call the science of yes. Even in the midst of tragedy, you can generate past it because you say so. When you're being inside the power and the energy of yes, things happen for a reason. And I can tell you right now that one of the main reasons I generated myself past those tragic circumstances is so that I can help others do the same. It's hard for anyone to come up with anything that matches what I've been through, but it's not a competition. It's an opportunity to be compassionate and to show people no matter what life brings, you can still stand up and say, I can have that. I want that. It's going to be mine. So just like Aladdin, when he rubbed that lamp and he got access to the world of possibility, so can you. You can have access to that very world because anything's possible in the energy of yes. And I'm here to give away that energy. I give it freely. You can get it from me or you can generate it yourself. Whatever you do, go after it. Don't wait for it to come to you because it's not like that. It's only active when you turn it on. Some people say life is like a bowl of chocolate. I say life is like a baseball game. You see, life is the person who's throwing the ball, the pitcher. You are the person at bat. And life keeps throwing balls, throwing balls, throwing balls, throwing balls, fast balls, slow balls, spit balls, all kind of balls. Life's just pitching. And you are doing your best just to hit and swing away, right? Here's the thing. You have nothing to say about what life pitches at you. You don't get to say. You set out on a journey that's completely empowering to you, and then you get a flat tire. And you don't get to say, life pitches, you hit. But I'm going to tell you something, and here, this is when you want to listen up. You have everything to say about how you react to the balls that life pitches to you. And you can bemoan, complain, commiserate about the balls, or you can get in action and dance around and hit that ball as hard as you can and get to where you're going. Home base. Whatever you want is yours. It's available to you. How you react to you. And it's not to say that life is not without risk. It is risky to say yes in the face of things that happen that you don't like. Life can be mysterious, but as long as you're saying yes, life can go your way, and it will go your way every single time. Now, here's the other thing that comes up all the time when I talk about the science of yes. And I know that some of you are thinking it right now. Well, what about no? Am I supposed to say yes to? I don't mean for you to eliminate the word no from your vocabulary. This is not a conversation about semantics. There are a lot of things that you need to say no to. It's appropriate. There are times when somebody is pushing past your boundaries and you need to put your hand on your hip and snap your fingers and say no. No is not a bad word, and yes is not a good word. This is not about semantics. This is about a mindset. And it's not just positive thinking either. This is a mindset for power. This is a mindset for getting what you want. This is a mindset for taking action no matter what. You can have anything you want. Just say yes and be yes. So while you're crafting the life of your dreams, you're going to have obstacles. So when I talk to you about being of a positive mindset, it doesn't mean nothing bad or nothing untoward is going to happen to you. It doesn't mean obstacles are not going to take place. But what I'm saying is, don't try. My favorite celebrity, Yoda, has this saying, do or not do. There is no try, just do it. Now, I could say to you, say no. Say no to stress and stress-caused illnesses. Say no to unemployment and being a victim to your circumstances. Say no to emotional abuse and toxic relationships. I could tell you these things, and I could call my process the things to say no to, the science of saying no. But I'm not going to do that, because one of the biggest things I teach my clients is not to affirm with your speaking that which you do not want. Like, you don't go into a restaurant and pick up the menu, and when the waiter or waitress comes over, you look at them and you say, okay, so don't serve me pancakes. I don't want pancakes. I hate pancakes. Pancakes suck. And if you bring me pancakes, I'm going to be really mad at you. So don't bring me pancakes. None of that. Right? You don't do that. I hope you don't do that. And you don't walk into a store and when the salesperson comes over, say, don't give me any clothes that have polka dots. I particularly don't like blue with white polka dots, but don't bring me any polka dots at all. I hate polka dots. Don't show me anything with polka dots. Don't do that, because I don't like that. You don't do that either, right? I mean, I hope you don't do that. You see, you don't want to lead with what you don't want. Always generating what you want. And if something shows up and it's not what you want, then dismiss it and keep focusing on what you want. Lead with what you want. Because you think that it may be silly what I just distinguished about pancakes and polka dots, but you do the same thing in your life. You talk all the time about what you don't like, about what you don't want somebody to do to you. And you're focusing on that, and you're bringing all this energy to that. And if you brought that same level of energy to what you want, you manifest it a lot quicker. So if you're a business owner, I'm a coach for entrepreneurs, specifically for conscious professionals. Like, in other words, spiritually motivated or mindful people who are up to big things. They're creative, they're transformational. Those are the entrepreneurs I work with best, because you're very, very intuitive and do things creatively. And it's hard for you in a structural corporate world to actually generate success and abundance. So my key is teaching you all the things that you can do to compete in a world that's very corporate when you are very transformational and spiritual. So for my free gift, I'm giving you an ebook that I wrote on how not to make the mistakes that people make when they're marketing their business. And I'm also going to give you a free consultation call where I'll go over those techniques with you and those strategies with you, so you can bring those strategies for marketing to your business and make more money and get more clients. Would you like that? And it's all inside the science of yes. So inside the science of yes and the power of yes, you face life with